Good evening, everybody. We're here again, our Facebook Live with Fragelila.
Welcome, everyone. Hey, welcome to our Facebook Live. Tonight, we are talking about Better Together, Conscious Living. And firstly, let me apologize. We've been having a little technical difficulties, which is why we're on a little later than normal. Our tech person, Kishore Rani, who is amazing personality, she tries so hard to get us on tonight. So we're grateful to her that we are on. Thanks, Kishore. So yeah, I'm just checking to see how many people are on the call. You have any idea? Anyone was able to get on? I got a message from Lucy, and she says she wasn't able to get on. Okay, so is there a way I could check to hear who's on and not on?
So far we have nobody. Hopefully people will join. Anna is with us.
Oh, okay.
So she will be participating together, answering your questions.
Okay, so yeah, then the program tonight, or what we wanted to talk about, was based on being together and better together. That's the theme, and really we wanted to talk about what does that mean to everyone. So I was going to check in and check in with everyone and find out what does better together, when they hear that theme, what does that mean? Because people can be better together and doing things that are really not benefiting them in any way. And then there are people that are better together that are doing things that may be really nurturing them and caring for them and making their life so much more beautiful and so wonderful. So I'm just wondering what it means to everyone when we hear that theme, better together. But anyway, since we don't know who's there right now, I'll just keep going on. So the reason I thought about doing this theme of better together is because we recently had a couples retreat, and in that couples retreat, we were realizing how many couples are able to do so much together for the planet, for the world. We were realizing how important it is for couples to nurture each other, nurture themselves, so that they can nurture the rest of the people in the world to have better relationships. So that was part of the idea of doing something on Better Together. However, as the time went on, I started realizing that better together doesn't have to be with couples necessarily. Better together can be with friends, it can be with children, it can be with families, parents, it can be with anyone that can make our world a better place when people are better together in consciousness. So that's the focus. Our focus tonight is to have some emphasis on how to be better together with consciousness that can vibrate into the world to help others to understand this theme of better together. And so there's a little quote that I've been seeing in my house for 14 years. And recently I in the last week, as I've been meditating on this better together, I had an opportunity to look at this quote. And I started reflecting on this quote every day for the past week. So I'm going to read this quote for you, and then I'm going to share a little bit about it and what it's for us. So this quote is about friendship, better together as friends. And so this quote says, "A friend is one who knows you as you are, understands where you've been, accepts who you've become and still gently invites you to grow. And so, yeah, this quote has been on my wall, on the wall in the house where I live. And it was one of the favorite quotes of my teacher. My teacher actually put this quote in the house where I'm living now. And I get to, and this quote is there every single day. However, I must admit, I don't always look at this quote, but because I've been meditating on this Better Together, conscious living, that quote started popping up and having some meaning for me in relationship to this theme of better together. And so when we talk about better together, it means that we are having to develop a consciousness, a way of thinking, a way of being in the world to be better with other people, to be better with ourselves first and then with other people. Now, an interesting aspect of this Better Together is that we're never really alone. We're always with someone. There is someone that's with us, inside of us all the time. And sometimes we might be aware and sometimes we may not. And so being better together first starts within. It first starts with us having some understanding that we're not alone in this world. And that's not an external thing. It's something very, very internal. So once we start realizing that we're not alone, we start getting a bit of a awareness about then what am I? Who am I? And who is with me? We start wondering about that. So one of the first things to be able to do at that time is to accept, to be able to accept who we are, accept at least what we understand about ourselves at that given moment, at that given time. And as we start accepting that, then we start becoming a little bit conscious about where we want to be, what we want to do, who we want to be in the world or with the people that we're with, right? And so this Better Together, in terms of this quote that I shared with you, the last part of it has so much meaning. Has in the last week, it's really kind of had so much more meaning for me, where it says, this person accepts who you've become and still gently invites you to grow. So this person that's within us is always inviting us to grow. And people around us, if they're positive and conscious, they're always inviting us to grow. And we, in turn, may also be inviting other people to grow. And this is the principle of Better Together. Better Together means for us, at least for me in this webinar, is how we can gently invite each other to grow. How do we do that? And so there are so many different ways that we can grow. And people are every day, many people are looking now more than ever, what is their purpose in life? What are they doing in life? What is the goal of their life? So many people are thinking about this. So one of the points I wanted to talk about today was about accepting ourselves, firstly, and then how to be authentic with ourselves. How do we accept ourselves and be authentic so that we can be authentic with others? And that can be in a marriage relationship, that can be in a friendship relationship, that can be people pre-married, they're not married, the premarital relationships. That can be, as I said earlier, it could be any different type of relationship that we may have in our world. So, how to be authentic? This is the question for us. And there's a few stories I want to share about being authentic. However, since the way that we do these little live presentation is we ask you, based on what I've spoken so far, what has anything kind of jumped out for you from what I've just shared about better together? What does that mean, better together? So I'm going to turn it over to Kishore and Anna. Kishore will share who, I don't know if it's her, Anna, that's going to answer or share something about what we've just talked about.
I think we can both share. To me, it was two important points. First, I never thought about it better together means something internal. It was really, really interesting thought. And that we are not alone. Somebody, we're together with somebody always.
Yeah.
And another interesting also thought was from that quote that you read, it was gently invite to grow others. It's word gently is really important for me.
Yeah.
So I can be gentle to others and to myself too.
Yeah, that gentle word is so important because the person that's with us always is always gently inviting us to grow, always. Anna, did you have something that you came up for you?
Yes, for me, what's interesting was like Kishore Rani just said that she never thought that it would be something internal. For me, it was the same. When you said together, I thought it would be me and another body, literally. That to me was together with something else. And then I had to catch myself thinking like, oh, why does it have to be a body? Because I think maybe I'm a body, so it has to be another body. And another interesting thing that I thought that caught my attention with together was when I think about the word together, I think, what is my part of it? What is that I can add to that together? What would be my responsibility of that growth instead of thinking like what the other person should do or other people? What would be like, I feel the weight of contributing to togetherness.
Yeah, I wanted to demystify this togetherness because oftentimes we do think when we hear that word together, it means together, that there's another body. You're so right, both of you. And there is a togetherness that's with ourselves because there's so many aspects of who we are. And so in order for us to really be present to others, to be really together with others, it's so important to be together with who we are. You know, most of the times, many people, they don't really pause or maybe take some silent moments to try to understand what is going on with them internally. They're not really present to their emotional self. They're not really present to their intellectual self. They're not really present, to their spiritual self. And so, yeah, so many times people are looking externally because they don't have a clue. They don't have an awareness that look, that there are parts of me that I need to be together with. And in order to be together with those parts of ourselves, it's so important to firstly accept ourselves. Well, as soon as we become aware, oh, there's parts of me that I need to be together with, then we start looking at all our faults, all the things we think are wrong, right? Oh, this is not right. This is, we start judging ourselves and being moralistic, and we start criticizing. And so the first thing we say when we start this process of being together, because it's better to be together, it gets better and better, because then we start extending it to others, is that we start accepting ourselves. We accept ourselves where we are. And wherever that may be, we just accept that, okay, this is where I am at this time. I may want to be in another place, and that's always possible because we have choices in our lives to make anything possible. So it's always possible. However, it's important for us first to simply accept where we are and not try to be where somebody else is. Because oftentimes that also happens. We can't be better together. We can't be better with ourselves if we, if we're somehow not developing some of those acceptance qualities, if we're not accepting some of those qualities about ourselves, whatever they may be. And so in order to be accepting, we need to be authentic. We need to be very authentic. So this word authenticity is, it's getting a lot of publicity. Many people are talking about being authentic. What does authentic really means? Well, being authentic means to be able to speak and be who we are. We've accepted ourselves. So now we can speak it out. We can share it with others. We can authentically, we can just say, well, okay, this is where I'm at. This is what's going on with me right now. I may not always want to be there. However, we can very truthfully, honestly, authentically, authentic is another way of speaking honestly and truthfully about where we may be as we are gently being groomed inside to grow. Because there is another personality inside of us helping us always gently to grow. So we're going to talk a little bit about authenticity and how to become a trusted friend to ourselves so that we can become a trusted friend for others, so we can be better together with others. So, okay, I'm going to just throw it out again. See what's happening with you, Kisheri, about what I just shared. This demystifying of this. Okay, first we're going to accept, we're going to become aware that being better together doesn't necessarily mean external, although it does mean external also. It also means internal. And once we have that awareness, how are we going to demystify this whole better together inside by being authentic? What does that make any sense to you at all?
Yes, it makes sense, but still a lot of questions, without accepting myself where I am and be honest and not criticizing myself. This is a big point because I can be honest with myself, but it's usually not acceptance. It's like more criticizing myself.
Yeah.
Or with this phrase that you tell, become a trusted friend of ourselves. It means that I should be friend, not like critic. That puts somebody who puts, like I'm putting myself down, but I need to learn to be friend to myself and trust it. And I need to learn how to be honest and friend.
Yeah, and to be able to be authentic with that, to be able to say, I am working on that. I am gently allowing myself to grow with some of these concepts because I didn't think of them before, or maybe I did hear them, but I didn't think to apply them in my life. So authenticity means to be able to apply the things that we're being gently, being made aware of so that we can grow. And yeah, this takes time. It takes like being gentle with ourselves, definitely. What about you, Anna? Anything that came up for you?
Yeah, that's very interesting for me to not criticize myself. I also have similar problem, especially I noticed that if I tend to do that to others, I realize that it's really, I am doing it to myself in the first place. That's why it translates like that to others. And for me, the question would be, how do I distinguish between being honest with myself and like really honest or giving some kind of excuses to myself, like, oh, that's where I am right now, so it might be, it's okay, I can just do it this way just because, that's where I am right now. And versus like really honestly saying like, okay, no, I can do this, and I'm just being a little lazy, or like being this and that. Like, what's the difference? How do I distinguish?
Yeah, that's really a nice question. That's why the theme of this little talk we're doing is called Better Together, Conscious Living. Because as we become more and more conscious, we become aware that there are no limits to growing, right? We become aware of that. And that person that's within us, that's actually gently encouraging us to grow, is always reminding us that we can grow more and more and more and more. So if we say, well, this is just where I'm at, that means we're accepting a place of being stuck in a certain place. And then is that being authentic to who you really are, to who we really are? Is that really being authentic with ourselves, with all those parts of ourselves? Is that being authentic to my physical self? Is it being authentic with my emotional self? Is it being authentic with my spiritual self? Because those are all parts of who I am. So we need to kind of be able to check ourselves constantly. And we need to know, well, where do I want to be spiritually? Where do I want to be? And so that's a question that we ask ourselves very regularly. And so when we realize that, well, maybe I'm not doing what it takes, maybe I'm not doing the work that it takes, or maybe I'm not calling out enough, or maybe I'm not now extending myself outside of myself to get, some support or some help from others. Because remember, this better together, it is about our internal, it's also about our externals. It's not separate. In other words, we're not like people just like on a desert island with no one, not like that. I mean, yes, internally, we are always challenging ourselves to grow and doing that in a very gentle way. At the same time, we are aware that we're doing that because we want to coexist very beautifully with our external world and with the people that's outside of ourselves. So it's always nice to inquire from other people, how do you think I'm doing? How do you think it's going? Getting feedback from others can be very, very helpful, extremely helpful. I wanted to share a quick story about this theme that really touched my heart, helped me to, which is why I'm talking about this, because it helped me to understand how important it is to be better together in all my relationships, my relationship with myself, my relationship with my husband, my relationship with the people that I am around every day, my relationship with friends like Shirani, like you, Anna, my relationship even with people that I don't know very well. This little story that I'll share has helped me a lot to understand that, how important this theme is. So there's this very advanced spiritual person that had many very deep spiritual experiences, very, very deep spiritual experiences. And at different times, this personality may have shared their experience. However, they didn't share it very often. And they were always reluctant to share. They weren't always eager to share. And so, there's Anna. And so one time, this person had an opportunity to serve a friend, a very close friend. And it was a very critical situation. And so that friend requested this other person, it's two friends I'm sharing. So one friend requested the other friend to please write and share his spiritual experiences so other people can learn the spiritual experiences about it. And this person was very reluctant. He was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to share. I don't want to, I don't want to share these experiences to the public. It's just going to sound like it's just about me. And I don't want it to be like that. And so his friend said, no, actually, it's not just about you. It's about so many people benefiting from this, these pastimes, these stories that these experiences that you've had in your life. And so, as I said, it was a very critical time for this friend. This friend was actually leaving his body and making that request. And so then the second friend had to agree, because that was a request of a person that's leaving their body. They're dying, and they're making that request. And so that person agreed reluctantly. They didn't really want to do it. However, they wanted to please their friend. He wanted to please his friend. And so he agreed. And so that friend died. That friend left his body. And there's another quote that's in my house. It's in this house that I live, that I always reflect on, that reminds me about this better together. And I'll read that quote. That quote says, with my heart's deepest love and gratitude, I offer you this small book. It was your tearful request and inspiration that made it possible. Your mercy and affection is my dearest treasure. I am forever your obedient servant, and you are my life and soul. So this is an exchange between two friends. And one died, and one is still alive, doing many beautiful, wonderful things from that book that that person wrote about his life, his spiritual life. He wouldn't have written it had he not taken the time to go inside of himself, to recall some of those beautiful stories and put it in a book and for other people to benefit. And people all over the world have benefited from this amazing gift that two friends that taught us that it's better together. He wouldn't have done it alone. He did it because of his friend. And so in all relationships, we all have the ability to encourage each other to do amazing, wonderful things for the world. Prayerfully, it doesn't have to be on somebody's deathbed, however, it's something that I think we need to kind of think about often. Who would I want to be better together with, starting with ourselves, and then who else? And what can I do to encourage those persons to be better with themselves? What can I possibly do? And so if we kind of have that kind of meditation with people in the world, we could make the world a better place, I believe. Because certainly I saw from this exchange with these two friends, so many people in the world have become better people because of that person writing the book. That very saintly person just taking quiet time to write that book. So, okay, so what are some thoughts?
Just one of those persons become better from that book. The story is such dear to me. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, there's so many beautiful stories when people get together to be better together. So many. This is one. This one's touched my life and made me understand how important it is, you know, to be better together with others. And it starts from inside. If I can be better with myself inside, by being authentic with myself, by not pretending to be somebody that I'm not, you know, just to share just all my, you know, my gifts, my talents, and all my mistakes and my frailties and all everything else about me, then I believe that that can help me to have more authentic relationship with others and learn from others. What about you, Anna?
That is, thank you so much for sharing. That is so, it seems so intimate, and you sharing it, it makes me feel like you think you put trust in me or in people who are listening together with you, and that makes my heart very warm and filled with gratitude.
Mm.
And in terms of the idea, it now I feel even more responsibility to become better with myself, so that I can contribute to those people who decide to be better with me. Yeah.
Yeah, great. We can start a little revolution. Actually, I mean, there's so many people that already, you know, living this principle of being better together and have this understanding of being better together. I think I got reminded, as I said, from the couples retreat and Mother Krishnandini, who she's put her life into wanting to have couples in ISKCON organization to be not just ISKCON but in the world. She really is very diverse in how she shares this message to help couples to understand that they can contribute so much more to the world when they're better together. And to be better together as a couple, each person has to be individually better together. That will make the contribution even more beautiful and more wonderful. And so, yeah, this was the sharing that I had tonight. It's very kind of short because I'd like to kind of share different parts of this, maybe for the next few weeks. Better together by taking responsibility, better together by being appreciative, better together by practicing humility. So many ways we can be better together. And so I just wanted to start out this little series with this the sharing of this great friendship that I have personally seen in my life. And wow, it's just so illuminating to have been a part of watching this type of friends and how deep this kind of better together can be. So yeah, let's just be better together, whether as friends or whether you guys with your husbands, with your children. There's another quick little story I'll share. I mean, I wanted to make the shirt, so I just wanted to share this one. I went to visit a friend yesterday about an hour away from where we live. It was the child's birthday, and I wanted to give the child a gift. And so I drove, Ekibepu drove me, my husband drove me to this person's house. And so the mother was just so surprised. She hadn't expected us, like, because we came a little late. Ekibepu had some other things to do, and we didn't leave till late. Anyway, we got there like maybe around 6 or something. And normally I don't think they get guests that time because their children go to school. And so I was able to give this little boy his gift. And then the mother told me, she says, yeah, I've been seeing that you're doing things on Facebook, and, you know, somehow she's gotten this information. And I was like, yeah, you know, okay, I'm trying to share some things like that. And then she showed me her YouTube that she does. And I was just like, sure. Her and her 17-year-old, she has 3 boys. No, she has 4 boys. And her 17-year-old, they go to the bus station and the train station and distribute prasadam to the homeless. And her son stays in the van and takes pictures of, of this interaction, and she puts it on YouTube. So she has all this YouTube thing, of her distributing prasadam to these homeless people. I was just like, I was shocked. I was like, really? Because usually this person would come to the temple and I would try to get her to speak, and she would be so shy. She would be like, no, I can't speak. I can't, she's a mother of four. She's a mother. She's a real mother. And she never wants to speak. And I was shocked to see her speaking, distributing this prasadam and, just like no shyness. I was like, oh, Krishna. And she's doing it on YouTube. And her son is putting all these YouTube things on. I was like, so anyway, she gave me a lesson on YouTube. I was like, okay, Krishna, you sent me here for a reason. Some things I need to just sit and listen to because that's my theme, better together. So that was better together last night, just being with that family for a little while. And then, just watching these children, all these young boys being better together with their mother. Okay, so this is it for tonight. Kishori, is there anything you would like to share?
We have few comments on Facebook I can read for you.
Okay.
Lucy wrote, I like this idea about bringing all the parts of ourselves together. It seems that that this is what authentic is, not just putting forward the good part of ourselves.
Yes.
Also, Anastasia wrote, I like the idea of being together internally because God is in our heart and we are never alone. We always have an internal friend to share with our thoughts and struggles.
Yeah.
And Milena wrote, great friend is someone who can truly see more in us than we can ever imagine. And also a lot of gratitude too.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Thank you guys so much. Hopefully we can meet again next week. Let's see how everything gets arranged. But I am so grateful to you, Kishori, and to you, Anna, for being on here tonight, and everybody else that came on. We apologize for the technical difficulties. That happens. We thank you so much. Let's be authentic with whatever it is. That's how it is.